I had the privilege of working at Tesla from July 2017 through September of 2021, and I interviewed hundreds of people and reviewed thousands of resumes across many different backgrounds and positions. And I was able to identify a lot of common themes between the people that applied and landed jobs, and today I'm going to share those things with you today. First, let's start with the resume. The one thing to keep in mind is that Tesla, being an employer of 100,000 people plus nowadays, they're going to receive thousands of resumes a day. And I remember for one position that I was hiring for, I received 600 resumes just from one small LinkedIn post. And that doesn't include all the resumes that would have flown through the HR channel that Tesla has, where they typically would get resumes. So you can only imagine how much attention each position gets at Tesla. So keeping that in mind, you have to craft a resume that has absolutely no fluff. Zero fluff. And what I mean by that is that you should spend no time trying to fill out a paper just to make sure you filled out the entire page with stuff. That does not help you. All that does is make it harder for the hiring manager to find why they should hire you. Instead, you should focus on the things where the hiring manager is going to go to first. And myself and all the other hiring managers that I talk to at Tesla, the first thing we always go towards is, what is your last bit of experience? And so this is usually found on the experience section of a resume, where you list your latest experience and then the one before that and the one before that. Really focus hard on the last experience that you had. And what Tesla looks for in that experience is three different things. One, the ability to work in high-stress environments. Two, is an ability to work in fast-paced environments. And three, it's the ability to come up with creative solutions with little to no guidance or little to no tools. And so if you ever found yourself in a situation at a job where you were trying to fix something or solve a problem and you barely had anything to work with, or there was nobody helping you, always make sure to list that experience, because that is what your day at Tesla is going to look like on a daily basis. Also, when you're thinking about listing that kind of experience, you have to make sure you quantify it in some way. Don't just describe what you did. Figure out a way to attach a number to it. Hours saved, more units sold, more units shipped, the amount of cost that you saved, the amount of people you impacted. Always list numbers, quantify your actions. And if you have some trouble figuring out how to quantify certain experience that you have, drop it in the comment below and I'll try to help you figure out how to do that. And then lastly, one of the things that really helps, and this sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, but it does make a difference, is try to figure out who the hiring manager is for that position. Sometimes it's listed on the application, and see if you can send them a message on LinkedIn. And on that message itself, make sure that there is zero fluff in your communication. Here's what I'm applying for, here's who I am, here's what I did, let me know if you're interested. That's it. Keep it simple, not a lot of words, and super precise. That will maximize your chances of somebody getting back to you. Now, let's say Tesla reviewed your resume, now they want to talk to you. First of all, congratulations. I think Tesla talks to something like 0.1% of the applicants that ever submit something or they send some sort of communication in. Maybe even less, to be honest. Consider yourself in a very special group right away. But the interview process is way more important than building your resume. And there were three main things that people had in common that ended up getting hired after those interviews. The first one's really hard to do, especially if you're a big Tesla fan and you're a big Elon fan and you're very excited for the interview, is to try not to be intimidated. The main thing to remember is that it doesn't matter what company you're interviewing for, you're always talking to a person. The key thing to remember is that you're always talking to a human being. And yeah, this person might have different experiences than you, but they are still a person. They have likes, they have dislikes, they have hobbies, they have weaknesses. So don't be intimidated, it's just a person. The one thing I always told people is that just pretend you're talking to your mom or your dad or somebody you're close to. It's no different. Don't allow that person's quirks or the way they behave or their intensity try to sway who you are. They already reached out to you for a reason. They like your experience. They like what you bring. Have confidence in who you are, because the reason they're talking to you is because they're already looking for somebody who's going to bring something different to the team. Have confidence in who you are. It doesn't matter who you're applying for. You are there for a reason. And a perfect segue into the second point, be yourself. Be yourself. Don't mold yourself into somebody that you think Tesla wants. Be yourself. Joke around, talk about stories. Don't be afraid to bring your personality to the interview. And if you're a serious person who doesn't like to joke around, do that too. Be serious, just be yourself. Don't be fake. Don't try to be somebody else. Hiring managers will see right through that. And there's nothing that drove me more insane is to see somebody who was clearly good for the job, but they're trying to mold themselves into somebody else. I literally had to break him out of that mold and say, dude, just talk to me like a person. Just talk to me like you are, like who you are, okay? Don't be afraid to lean into that. Take pride in who you are. And then the last thing that I found very helpful is that if you have some sort of passion for Tesla or SpaceX or Elon or the mission, don't be afraid to talk about that. Talk about how that shapes the way you think. Talk about why that inspired you to apply for the position. Tesla is a place that can be extremely challenging at times, very, very, very difficult. But having passion for that mission makes those days a little bit easier. And if they're talking to somebody who they know is gonna have that same passion for that mission, it's gonna make that hiring process a little bit easier because they know who they're gonna get. They know they're gonna get somebody in that position that, regardless of how hard it gets in there, they're always gonna have that mission in mind and they're gonna move forward. And so to summarize this video, don't spend any time on fluff. Always try to quantify things and be yourself. If you have any other questions about the hiring process, drop a comment below and I'll try my best to help you out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helps. Best of luck and we'll talk to you later.